December 12th at 7 o'clock. And if Hope Saltmarsh could please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great. And thank you to everyone. We have first on the agenda announcements and presentations. And we have an award from the Alexander Eastman Foundation for an unknown recipient.
Just give you
Okay, great.
I'll start from here, and then we can move over. When I first started working at the Londonderry School District, I served some time in the nurse's office, and I met Barbara Kosh, and she was doing dental health checkups for the district as part of the state Department of Dental Health. And that was in the early 80s, and then that program went on for many years, but in the early 90s, the state disbanded it, and there was no more dental health that was offered. So some famous people from Londonderry, Jim Grattan and Pat Pluff. Jim was a former principal at South School, and Pat Pluff was a school nurse there. Were concerned about the oral health of the students at South School, so they went to the Alexander Eastman Foundation. And that's a charitable organization that was set up after the selling of the Alexander Eastman Hospital. And it works to provide funding for various nonprofit organizations in the area. And so when Jim and Pat went to the Alexander Eastman Foundation, they contacted several local dentists, John Ahern, Patty Timoney, and also Ann Kalachi was involved in that. And they started a 4-month pilot program at South School to provide dental health care for the students, and they hired a wonderful hygienist named Hope Saltmarsh. And so after the first year, they started the pilot at South Londonderry School and Derry's South Range School. And the first year, they ended up serving all 8 elementary schools in both Londonderry and Derry. So the Londonderry School District has acted as the fiscal agent for this program over the years. But recently, Hope decided that it was time to go off and start her own nonprofit organization with a board, and that it would be more fiscally responsible and more legally responsible. And so she's handling this transition and has done an absolutely wonderful job. I'm fortunate to serve on the board of Alexander Eastman Foundation and our new Children's Dental Network, and working with Hope is an absolute dream. So she is going to be recognized this evening for her wonderful work. So I'd like to introduce you to Wendy Frosch from the Watch Your Mouth organization, and also Hope Saltmarsh. I'll bring all my props with me.
Watch Your Mouth is a public awareness campaign that is designed to increase awareness of the importance of children's oral health to their overall health. I'm not sure if people in the room really recognize how important oral health is. It's 5 times more common than asthma. It is the most common chronic childhood disease, and it's caused by bacterial infection and can lead to problems in later life like heart disease and lung disease and the incidence of low birth weight babies. And so there's a coalition, the Coalition for New Hampshire Oral Health Action, really determined that we needed to change people's awareness about oral health and really make sure that people understood how important oral health is for children's overall health, because children who don't have good oral health aren't sitting in schoolrooms learning and growing and thriving the way that they should. Kids who have problems with oral health have problems eating, and speaking and keeping up with their peers. And so we feel it's really, really critical that we do everything that we can to make sure that this is a disease that's recognized as any other infectious childhood disease. And as we looked at the folks around the state who were working on improving children's oral health, we really wanted to identify the champions. And we felt that the Alexander Eastman Foundation, as the sponsor for the work that Hope does in the schools in the area, really was a champion and an innovator in really bringing to the public's attention the importance of children's oral health and making sure that children's oral health issues are dealt with in the schools, where we cut across all sectors of society and make sure that children from all walks of life have access to good oral health. So tonight, I'm very, very pleased to present an award to the Alexander Eastman Foundation, and Hope and Joel Ulbrich, the chair of the board of trustees of the foundation, are here. This is a plaque that acknowledges that the Alexander Eastman Foundation is a champion for children's oral health. And I have from Delta Dental a check for $500 for the foundation to continue to support the work that you've been doing. And I also have a friend who can help you in the schools, demonstrate to kids how to take care of their teeth and where sealants go and all that. So I wanted to give you a new pal.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Wendy. I just wanted to say that it's been a real privilege for me to work with members of such a terrific community partnership. And for 15 years, the Alexander Eastman Foundation has been really committed to promoting oral health for children in the towns that they serve: Londonderry, Derry, Chester, Sandown, Hampstead, and Wyndham. And they really understand the message that the Watch Your Mouth campaign is promoting. You can't have a healthy body without a healthy mouth. And all of our partners really know that children aren't going to thrive and learn well in school if they aren't healthy. So the funding that the Alexander Eastman Foundation provides to us every year allows us to have a program that we can work with the schools and with the dentists in our area. And every year, more than 30 dentists step up and help us out. And we have, since we started, the dentists have donated almost 1,000 hours of doing dental screenings in the schools. And they have also donated more than $175,000 worth of dental treatment in their offices for children that we refer to them, children who would not get those services any other way. So that is a tremendous partnership. We also are working in 15 different schools and in Derry Head Start and bringing the program to the children there. And we've developed some wonderful relationships with the administration, the school nurses, the teachers, the staff, and even parent volunteers. And what that enables us to do is to be really effective in finding those children who really need our services. So, as Wendy said, last year we grew to the point where we are able to be a nonprofit organization and on our own, but we are tremendously grateful to the Londonderry School District for taking us on for 13 years so that this program could be in all of these towns. And I just want to close by saying that we still have very strong ties to Londonderry. Among our board members for the Children's Dental Network, we have 5 Londonderry residents. You know Carol Mack. John Connolly is also on our board, Martha Smith, and 2 dentists from Londonderry that have been with us since the very beginning, Dr. John Patrick Ahern and Patricia Timoney. So thank you all very much.
Actually, usually this is the part where I always ask the students, do we have any questions from the board? Questions from the public? And we would definitely appreciate those. That'd be great. Yeah. Oh, it doesn't matter. Yeah, we're not that formal. It just looks, we borrowed the room. It's not our real place.
If I can just make one comment on behalf of Alexander Eastman Foundation, I really appreciate Londonderry School District's work these 13 years to support and do the fiscal agency of the program. As she said, it's successful, it's going on its own, but we really appreciate your history with this program and bringing it on. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is not as exciting as going to see your hygienist, dental hygienist, but
Almost.
as Peter said, almost. For some of us, it is. Peter, you,
We have with us the audit presentation. The audit firm that does our audit the last couple of years has been Vashon and Kluge out of Manchester, New Hampshire. We have David Kluge as well as Jennifer Dorr, who will present the findings of the audit for the FY 206. I'll sit there later.
Maybe we are going to the dentist. Certainly, at any time, open to questions from the board. I would just like to quickly go over what we delivered. Actually, in one package that you have, the financial statements and the independent auditor's report. Also bound in that is a report on internal control over financial reporting and compliance, and a report on compliance for the major federal projects. The report on internal control is probably what you all are concerned with, or I would think it was. It certainly is a boilerplate letter, which is what you want it to be. If there were any problems, it would be they would be spelled out in detail there. When we started the audit, we looked at areas that would be of more concern than others to us, and we call them high-risk audit areas. That doesn't mean that there's a high risk, but that's where we feel there are the potential for problems. The three top areas were the student activities funds. The second one was the purchasing process and the cash disbursements, and the third was the receipt and recording of tuition fees and the school lunch program. So that there were four areas that we considered to be the higher risk areas, and obviously there are no findings in those areas, but there was some concentration in there. The financial statements are, I believe, the third or fourth year of GASB 34. They would be the fourth year of GASB 34. There are two statements that are full accrual basis, two statements that are modified accrual basis, and then one statement for the student activity funds. And then there's a schedule in the back of that's on budgetary basis, which is the basis that you see your reports on. That includes encumbrances and a couple of eliminations, which are fully explained there on page 20, right after the schedule. There's some notes there. The modified accrual statements are reconciled to the accrual statements on the face of the modified accrual statements, so that if you start with the budgetary statements, which is the information, or it's summarized, but it's the information you would be used to seeing, and that is reconciled in that note behind it, to the modified accrual basis statements, which on the face of them are reconciled to to the front statements. And that's basically the essence of the GASB 34 statements. The report on compliance with the requirements of the major federal funds, federal projects funds, is limited to the major funds, which were the special education cluster, which was your special education grants fund and the preschool grants fund. They really make up, in compared to the general fund, about 1.9% of the total general fund expenditures, but because they are federal monies, they do get special audit treatment. Are there any questions?
Questions, to the board? Dan?
Can we flip to Roman numeral 5? We talked about this a couple, I'll wait till you get there.
This would be in the front of the report,
Right.
of the management discussion and analysis.
Particularly the financial summary of the school district's funds. Is Peter still, oh, there's Peter. We talked about this a couple, 3 years ago, and I understand why it's a negative number. But if I were to read the financial statements today, I wouldn't understand why that's a negative number. We know we can't have a fund balance in the negative. And if you look the prior year, there was a, I know it was a period adjustment, but shouldn't we have a little bit better description as to what that's reflective of?
Yeah, I guess
Well, do you see what I'm saying? I mean,
I can make a note for next year, that as long as that shows, I guess I could put the same.
I would just keep that until it rolls out 3 years from now. Because a user of the, I don't know who uses them, but if you look at that, that would be a fairly definitive question, and,
Red flag.
right. We didn't misappropriate any funds, it was just a period expense when you people came on board for presenting that adjustment that fell right around the fiscal year end, if I recall.
So that could be appropriately addressed with an asterisk and then an explanation.
That's the MD&A, Peter's responsible for that.
I understand. That would be an,
We disclaim responsibility for anything but that the numbers are accurate.
okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's why I was
Yeah.
addressing Peter with the question.
Yeah, we had a comment, you're right, we had, my last year's MD&A, there was
Right.
2 or 3 sentences that explained, and we simply do is to bring those back until that number flushes out.
Right.
Right.
Just keep that same sentence there, because I think that did an adequate job of the explanation. It was just a timing item's all it
Yes.
was. Okay. I'll defer to other board members. I have another question, but I'll wait. Thank you, Pete.
I think you're up.
Oh, nobody has any questions? Can we flip to Roman numeral 7, long-term debt? And maybe again, this is for Peter. I think this is a Gadsby requirement, but is this the first year we put the last sentence in, under long-term debt? I don't recall seeing it in there before.
It says per pupil cost?
No, long-term debt. Compensated absences.
It's been in there.
Yeah,
That's a Gadsby requirement, is it not?
Yes, it is.
yeah. It's been there the last 2 or 3 years anyway.
We do not budget that line item,
Correct,
but it's here for informational purposes only for Gadsby reporting?
yes.
Okay.
It's basically just to show the potential long-term obligations.
So we determine that to be long-term, even though a piece of it may be short-term? Right?
Right.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
Questions from other board members? You all set?
I'm all set, are you,
We're all set.
okay?
Thank you.
And thank you for Jennifer.
Nice to see you all again.
Next, I have a consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move the consent agenda.
Second.
It's a motion by Ron and second by Paul. Mary, I just sent you a minor typographical change by email. It made George younger.
This is not a bad thing.
Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, 5-0. And Mary, before you came, just so you know, we called on Hope Saltmarsh to do the Pledge of Allegiance. And then she did her presentation.
Mr. Chairman, can I just go back and ask one question? I apologize.
No, that's great.
In the consent agenda, the December 5th budget meeting minutes were not in there. Was that for a reason, or should we be approving them also? We only approved the November 28th. We also had the...
They were in the package, that's a good point.
December 5th was in the package.
We'll just take a motion to approve those, and then, yeah, it's just
Mr.
probably,
Chairman, I make a motion, we approve the December 5th budget meeting minutes.
Second.
second by, I'm sorry, motion by Ron, and second by Dan. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, 5-0. Committee reports. Michael?
Hello. Since the last time I've been here, we just started the can drive. I believe it was following right the next week. It's been going for over a week now. Can drive's going to be ending on Wednesday. But just to give you a quick idea of what we've been taking in since we don't count the final count till Wednesday, we've had at least 2 classes I know have brought in over 500 cans each. And they kind of make it a little bit of a rivalry. So one's hit 500, one hit 800, and they're going back and forth. But we've gotten to the point where we're kind of running out of storage space in some of the places we're leaving it. And on Wednesday, the people from St. Jude's will be coming to collect the cans. A representative from the Epilepsy Foundation came this Monday. They received their they had the formal receiving of their check from the Walk for Epilepsy for Kyle Robinson. Again, the total is like a little over 9,000, I believe. For the holidays, the student council is running its candy cane sale, which is you go to lunch, you take a little piece of paper, you write down a message, and for a quarter you can get a candy cane sent, and your message is tied on to a C period class, and they drop it off to a specific person. So it's kind of neat. You're in class and you get your little candy cane, you're happy, and all's well. But yeah, we're doing that, and they'll be delivered, I think, next week, so in time for the holidays. Also, there's hall decorating, which I don't think has been scheduled yet, but it comes up rather soon. Certain classes get certain sections of the hall. I know my class last year had, like, right in the lobby, we had about 25 feet or so, and you decorate a section, and they have little competitions, and then certain people come and judge the halls. They have to not be affiliated with the class, I think. So they have people come and they judge you. And last year, I know my class won, which was pretty cool. We had a Winter Wonderland type Grinch theme. So this year it should be interesting. We're looking forward to that. This Wednesday, the orchestra will be holding its winter concert. It's accompanied by a symphonic band. Also, the concert will be including the choir, and and I think that's around 7 o'clock in the LHS gym. So, if anybody's interested, they can. I don't think it's being televised. It might be recorded though. So, the student council has also been helping the London Conference program. In lunches, we had like each class, they separate up into little bottles, and whoever gets the most money, they obviously win for the class. But you get like the title of most caring class, and you can see as the bottle fills up, the little dollars start to pile up, and the quarters kind of land on the bottom. It's pretty neat. And overall, the students are looking forward to having a great Christmas vacation and coming back in the new year. Thank you.
You know, we have an opening for a science teacher, so the quarters on the bottom and the dollars on the top part, it's a density or one of those things, science questions, but
I should apply.
yes. Thank you, Michael. Mrs. Slozak.
Good evening. Today, Londonderry High School had a guest speaker, Said Al-Abri from the country of Oman. He's on a Fulbright scholarship at Southern New Hampshire University. And Dennis Hall from SANU contacted Gail Esterly in the School to Career office to set this up. He spoke with sociology and world history classes and discussed his country with the students. He talked about government, economics, family structure, religion, climate, and fashion. He came with a PowerPoint presentation and took questions from the students. And it was a great experience for the students to experience the culture of another country. At South School, the fifth graders are working in mixed class groups to research and present information on biomes of the world. They're sharing their talents in a mixed media presentation too. And they're also practicing their ethical research skills. I received an email from Matt Noon, who was the LMS cross-country coach this past fall, and he wants everyone to know that all season long the boys ran very well, and they demonstrated what quality championship teams require in order to become champions. They won the league meet with 2 boys finishing first and second in the A race, and a tiebreaker against Nashua Fairgrounds led to a second-place finish in the States. What stands out about this team, or the team's accomplishments this year, were 3 things. First, in the State's A race, the 2 top runners again came in first and second as individual runners. No team has ever done that in the history of the state meet, and the boys did it 2 weeks in a row against very tough competition. Secondly, the 7th grade state meet race had 6 individuals in the top 10, and this is not including the 7th grade student who placed 9th for LMS in the A race. And finally, you have a successful program when more than 60 boys every day come to practice, run between 3 to 5.5 miles, and love doing it. Every boy sets goals and strive to achieve them, and Brandon Stumpf, who was the assistant coach, and Mr. Noon are very proud of their accomplishments. In the holiday spirit, North School is having their 5th grade business fair this Thursday. The 5th graders have worked very hard for the past 2 months on products and services to be sold to their peers, parents, and teachers. The students are making everything from ornaments and bookmarks to paperweights, jewelry, and tons of food products. They're providing services and making games. They're very excited. Many of the classes will donate part of their profits to charity. The kids have made business cards and posters. They develop business plans and will figure out profit and loss statements at the end of the fair. It was quite involved, and Mrs. Caballero sent me this information, and every year she swears she won't do it again because it's so much work. But it's such a great experience for the kids that, of course, she does it. The 5th graders want to invite everyone down to finish their holiday shopping on Thursday and bring your money. LHS teacher Brian Cordimash and Lyd Jackson, the LHS media specialist, would like to let you know of a really great opportunity that the students in Brian Cordimash's World at War classes got to participate in. They talked to some World War II veterans from Berrien County in Michigan last Thursday on Pearl Harbor Day via video conferencing in the high school media center. The veterans took turns answering questions from our students as well as the students from Michigan. The sessions lasted 60 minutes, and the students prepared a wealth of questions to ask the veterans, and Mr. Cordimash reports that it was a tremendous learning experience for those students. And finally, for Moose Hill was able to donate $142 to Warm Homes, and more money is still coming in daily. They were able to send boxes of canned goods overseas to their adopted platoon in Iraq, along with cards and letters from some of the kindergartners. And Moose Hill would like to thank all of the Moose Hill families for their generosity with their contributions to Warm Homes and to their Adopt-a-Platoon program. Thank you.
Thank you. George.
Thank you. Just before I even go into the liaison reports, I just want to say I'm always inspired by and grateful to every one of our students out there. They do so much for this community, whether it's Londonderry Comforts or Warm Homes or Iraq or an epilepsy walk or all that. You're all to be commended. You're just a terrific asset. And we probably wouldn't get half as much done as we do without you guys. So I know that 9 of you that are out there may be listening in some civics class somewhere could hear me. And with that said, due to a commitment that the board had last Wednesday, I was not able to attend the planning board session, but I did watch the rerun. How exciting can that be? And I'm proud to report there's absolutely nothing on the planning board that would affect the school board for this session this Wednesday night is the elderly housing workshop. So that should be very interesting. If anybody's got an interest in that, that'll be in this room, 7 o'clock Wednesday night. So, and that was the only meeting we had past couple weeks. So I will turn it over to you again, sir.
Paul?
Not an official duty, but I enjoyed, my family and I, going to the Booster Club's sponsored charity event a couple Saturdays ago with the Red Sox veterans playing the high school and middle school and elementary school faculty and administration. That was a great game. Mr. Corey was there banging the boards, and Mr. Zakili was popping shots from the corner. The only thing that puzzled me, Mr. Elefante, was when... had the refreshment stand. Yeah. Right, I know you were near the refreshment stand. What I was going to say was that when you first brought our new assistant principal to us earlier in the year, Katie Sullivan, I don't recall the scouting report indicating that we were getting a versatile point guard. But she did a great job, too. I want to say there must have been, 12 or 13, maybe even 15 faculty members there. So that was great, and it was a nail-biter right to the end, so that was great. I think the only regularly scheduled meeting I attended with Dan was the Budget Committee. As I recall, Dan, they really focused on the town budget that night, so not too much to report there.
Thank you. Ron?
No reports.
Dan?
Yep, just real brief. I went to a town council meeting, and mostly it's budget review, but one thing I'd like to do publicly here is a friend and a former board member, Ann Jacoby, had to resign from the library trustees for reasons left to be discussed at another meeting if anybody's interested. But I wish Ann well in her endeavors, and I know that she did a lot of work as she was a member here for all the children in Londonderry, and wish Ann the best. So that's what I did this past week.
Great. On the NH Cafe front, we've been working on scheduling something I'm referring to as a educational conclave, and there are 3 plans that are in the works right now for school funding. We expect there'll be more in the future. So far, we have a plan from Andrew Peterson, and there's more information about that at andrewpeterson.org. Fred Bramante has a concept that he presented along with the Aslan plan. They presented these plans at a December 7th Business and Industry meeting up in Concord. I've had contact with all of these groups, and they're all extremely willing to participate in presenting to the communities that are members of NH Cafe and all of the children and communities throughout the state of New Hampshire, their solutions. And I think that that's a good situation that we can pull those 3 together. The advantage will be that we have the facilities that we do here in Londonderry so that we can manufacture DVDs and send them throughout the state so that people will get a chance to see it in other locations. So we don't have a date on that yet. And I'm sure with that we'll be able to pull in other groups and organizations that have concepts for a solution to the school funding crisis. I was handed a press release tonight that, you know what, Nate, I'm going to put this down by you. Maybe we can put it, I don't think it was in the press packets because Nate handed it to me at the last moment. Frank Emerow is scheduled in this room on January 16th at 7 o'clock, a presentation from Roger Wells and former Representative Michael Aslan. And locally, the representative that's been involved in that has been Sharon Carson. And they will present their plan to the Londonderry community on December 12th. That's it for me. Next item is superintendent's report.
I forgot to mention this to you. I'd like to do the South Coast Space Needs Report and then with the board's permission, because Tim and Cindy have to get up early, if we could move the high school program and studies ahead of the middle school computation report, if that would be okay with you. Apologize for not mentioning that earlier.
We're ready?
Okay. Mr. Curra?
Yes. Hope everything works. So the screen is coming on. Mr. Zappa is going to do the slides for me.
And we are authorized to reduce one level of lighting, but no snoring.
Make sure it comes up. No, not yet.
I think that works because they feed it directly to the cable system, so people at home will be able to see it.
Can you see it?
Oh, okay.
I didn't.
Please.
Pardon? No, I'm fine, thank you.
Gotta find the,
Have we ever tested these out on that first night
Maybe we should do the program of studies.
when they were all, because they were all behind or?
Yes.
While we're waiting for that to come up, we have several members that are here from the South School Building Committee. If you could just, if you're near a microphone, Bob, can you drop that microphone down? Nice coat, by the way, Bob. I like that.
Only need to wear it a couple more weeks.
oh, boy.
Not that you're counting or anything, right, Mr. Lincoln?
It's supposed to be 40 down there, Bob.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
We can go without it. Yeah, let's do program, let's,
Do program of studies.
yeah, no, let's do that.
Do the program of studies.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh!
Oh, that's
There you
all it
go.
took, pressure.
I'm here to present the first phase, if you will, of the South School project. The members, some of the members are here, and they're all listed. Don Gay, Guy Blanchett, Gene Gollard, Jim O'Neill, Joe Oswald, Joanne Blanchett, Keith Hawkins, Mary Soares, Tony DeFrancesco, Bob Lincoln, Dan Gunnery, Dan Beaver, Paul Moglen, Chuck Zappa, myself, and the architect is Frank Marinese. The group has met several times. I've had some lively discussions, if you can believe that, on the project, the scope of the project. What I want to first talk about is, and all you can see this, but this is, see if we can do this a little bit. This gives you a general outline for those who don't visit South School all the time. Here is obviously the main building right here, and here are the portables, the little square thing.
Pat, just pull your chair. I know the camera's trying to pick it up right now.
Thanks,
And
Michael.
people are always
The-
interested in this.
This is
Thank
the
you,
main
Michael.
building right here. The portables is this little rectangular. Those of you who don't remember, there were 8 portables there. 4 of them were delivered in '88, 4 of them were delivered in '92. Here's the front of the building right here, the parking lot and the road right here. The boundary line kind of goes out here a little bit like this. One of the first few ideas, obviously the first thing we talked about is the project needed? We talked about enrollment projections, class size. As I mentioned in my memo, even though enrollment for the elementaries has gone down the last couple of years, enrollment projections seem to be flat for the next several years, and therefore for us, it concluded that some sort of a project needed to be moved forward. as well as the fact that inside South School, there are a lot of small programs that have utilized closets and so forth and so on, and other small areas that we felt are appropriate and it's the appropriate time to start addressing. One of the first questions to come up on the building project was not so many how many classrooms, but where would a project go. We really looked at 3 areas. The blue area obviously is the area that we discussed, and it's pretty much where the portables are now. We discussed along the side, but the boundary line was so tight that it wouldn't prohibit a building project. We also talked about putting it out back, but two problems affected putting the project out back. One was on the right side, if you're facing the front of the building in the back, on the right-hand side is the leach field that is still in existence. There's no sewer line to South School, and the cost of bringing sewer all the way down there is very steep. You could put a construction project to the side, but that means you'd have to bring the required fire line all the way around the whole playground. And the cost of doing the fire road at that, the projects in the back would be also very expensive. So based on that and the architect's recommendations, pretty much put the proposed project pretty much where it is now. In the front of the building on the right-hand side, and it's the blue area that we're talking about right here. Right now, there are 33 regular size and 900 square foot classrooms at South School. The project being proposed as of today is 31 classrooms, or i.e. 2 classrooms will be taken on inventory. And that is reflective of the enrollment, not only in South School, but district-wide. Well, we have, let me get my little stuff over there. Want to go to the next slide for a second? First one is obviously new construction. And these are very estimates. So the total cost of the project is estimated, and that's the best we can do, is $5.5 million. The new construction, again, it's estimated based on square footage, and what we're planning to do at this moment is $4,505,000. That talks about site development, the actual foundation, parking. Those of you who go to South School, parking, as in most of the elementary schools, is an issue. We're looking at 2 areas of parking. In the front, right now there is some shrubs and grass and so forth and so on in front of the existing parking in the road that's there now. Where we will convert that to a parking area, and we believe we can get about 40 spaces in the front. And then in the back, almost alongside part of the playground or the field area, we can get an additional 20 more spaces. So we're looking at somewhere about 50 to 60 additional parking spaces as part of the whole project. Electrical service, the portables have their own service right now, and power in the main building is tight as it is today. So in order to complete the whole project, a new electrical service would have to be brought in. And then sprinkler, as part of fire code, a sprinkler system would have to be brought in for the whole building. As I mentioned, looking over here, the project includes 9 classrooms. The reason why it's 9, I'll talk to you when we talk about renovations. There's 1, 2, 3 classrooms that we'll be taking when we talk about renovations in a second to come out. That's because as we discussed about other areas and other needs in the existing building, we felt it was appropriate to then take classrooms similar to what we did at North School and then make up the difference in the new construction. If we had gone an exact 1-to-1 ratio, these 2 classrooms in yellow or gold would have been added. And what we're doing here is simply going to put the foundation in, the footing, so forth and so on. So if enrollment does pick up, and if 2 classrooms would be needed, the underground piping, electrical, foundation, so forth, would all be ready, and then simply, it'd be a much smaller project to build out and add 2 classrooms to South School. That's what I have on new construction. Any questions on, we're talking about new construction. On renovations, we're looking at roof replacement, and here, it's probably about 3/4 of the building that we're talking about. The front was done in the gym, or the cafeteria. The other part of the building has not been done. There are a lot of code issues that we'll address. The nurse's office, as I mentioned right here, similar to what we did at North School, we take a classroom, and we basically cut it in half. We expand the nurse's office, and then the other half becomes the faculty room. The library, which is right here, there is a sped office. You can barely pick this out, this little area here. We will take that and incorporate that into some of the other resource and offices that we've added in the project. The one big thing is the location of the main office, and the suggestion to relocate the main office came from the architect and in the grounds of safety. He strongly believes that we need to move the main office from here, it's basically in this area, inside the building, on the perimeter, to have windows mainly for safety area. That actually came from Frank Marinez as a recommendation, a strong recommendation of the group when considering renovation projects. And then HVAC improvements in some of the areas would be addressed as part of the renovations. Our estimated cost of renovations is $995,000, giving you the $5.5 million estimated project. There's one area that the group is still considering, and that's what to do with the students as the construction goes on at the location. If you remember at North School, we had the luxury of providing construction site and building the new area while leaving the old portables there. We don't have this luxury because we have to put them in almost in the exact same spot that the portables are located. The three options that the committee is considering is moving the students to different areas or different buildings for the time being, adding or renting portables in the back, probably in this area, the playground area, or converting the gymnasium into, I'll use the word temporary or portable classrooms inside the building until the construction's done. They haven't really addressed which way they want to go yet. That's one of the topics that will probably be discussed, obviously, as we get going in January and February. Next one. I think I covered. The part of the as I mentioned earlier in the renovations, one of the areas is simply for the nurse's office to alleviate some of the very tiny classroom areas for SPED, for special curriculum, pull-out sections, and then, as I mentioned earlier, to address the relocation of the main office to a perimeter setting. I'll open up members of the committee here, and obviously answer any questions the board has. Our reason, obviously, for coming here tonight is to hopefully gain approval of the school board to move forward, and obviously to ask that the board approve the additional $200,000 necessary in the upcoming March warrant to then do what we call phase 2 of architectural engineering, where we'd start talking about the plans and designs that could then be used by the construction, by the architect, then bid out or get bids, and then produce what we call the guaranteed maximum price.
Questions from the board?
Yeah, Peter, can we get copies of those prints? Because my eyesight is pretty bad. I can't see exactly what's happening on that from here. That would be helpful.
What I try to do from Frank is get them in a PDF format.
That would be nice.
And I'll send them out, both of them.
Can I?
Oh, please.
Okay.
I can't see them close up, so.
The other thing I'd like to see, and Brian has left the room, is as we're looking at this and we talk about district-wide programs, what I'd like to see and understand as we look at the elementary schools, what district-wide special education programs we have. Where are they going? How do they affect the space in the whole district? While this is a South School project, just like North School's taking a program, we gotta see how the whole district is looking at it, and that's what I wanna see. Before I vote on approval of this plan here, I wanna make sure that we've made the right decision for all elementary schools. And, those 2 classrooms may be needed because we're putting other programs in, and I wanna look 5 and 6 years down the road. We have the Friends 1, the Friends 2 program coming in, other programs. I mean, I don't know at Matthew thought if we're taking the 660 classrooms, combining them into make Friends. So that's what I want to see. I want to see the combined picture of what the elementary schools look like. When we do this renovation, what does it look like as it's built out with all the programs that we know about today?
To add to that, you probably want to include at least the middle school with that too, since
This is strictly in elementary, 1 through 5. I think we have to look at the middle, but if you're going to put programs in the middle school, you're going to have to build to the middle school.
no, right, all I'm saying is it'd be nice to see what you're suggesting within the overall district context, because we're gonna need to be looking in the middle school for some things.
I agree with you, Paul, but what I'm trying to do is, we're looking at elementary now, and we can make another one to look at middle school. I don't think, if you start combining them, I think it's gonna become a bigger task. And what I wanna look at is, they're looking for approval and $200,000 on the next bond issue. I'd like to see what that is before we approve it. That's my opinion. I'm only 1/5 over here. That's my thoughts. I just wanna make sure that we got it all put together.
You're on the capital
Yes.
planning committee, and that amount of funds has been planned for in the CIP?
I thought we had 4.5 in the plan.
No, I'm backing up to this year, just for the A&E, the additional
A&E
A&E.
is 200,000.
Yes.
That's correct.
With a bond approval, if everything goes correctly in approval, it would be March of 2008, which we would start. What the committee would like to do, if everything goes well and so forth, would be to start as early as we could in June, maybe even a week or 2 before school gets out, as things have to wind down and get, as I'll use the word, a jump on construction. Hopefully get done as quickly as we could. I think the time frame we were looking at would be somewhere around between Thanksgiving and Christmas would be, we would hope, if everything goes well with construction and weather, to wrap up the project.
I think we might be confusing people, though. We're talking about architectural and engineering work in this year's bond, and then in the next
Right.
election cycle.
Well, the 200,000 would be a bond. It's just a separate, we call it a separate warrant article.
The construction that you just talked about getting a jump on, that's 2 years out.
Yes.
Okay. Bob?
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing with Ron. The thing is, you got a basic plan here. The $200,000, the A&E for this year, whether you can complete your project in the next 30 days or whatever you need before that warrant is posted, I don't know if you can do all that. That's the basic plan. Once, if the money is approved and we go forward, there's going to be little changes depending on costing of various scenarios in that plan. So basically, that's the same plan. Will that be the same plan that we'll eventually vote on if the A&Es are approved in the bond issue next year? Basically, it's going to be the same plan, but it's probably not going to be the same. There will be changes depending on the various costing of the ideas. So, I just think the $200,000, you have a basic plan here, whether that gets held up for your space needs of the various special ed programs, I don't know.
Ron?
First of all, when we came in, they asked for approval of the plan and the $200,000. That's what Peter asked for. And what I'm saying is I can't approve a plan until I look at the overall picture of the district, because don't know if 31 classrooms is the right number or 33 is the right number.
I don't think, am I mistaken? We're just asking for the A&E. We're not asking for approval of that plan. Am I right?
Right. Well, we have a conceptual.
Conceptual, right, but that's not the plan that.
Again, Bob, I think we need to look at the entire picture. and getting the $200,000, I have no problem approving that number for architect and engineering fee for March.
Right.
But before we start going down a pathway, and you've been here before.
Oh, yeah, I
Oops,
agree.
it's too far down, we can't do anything about it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and that's where I want to be, is I want to make sure, as a district, that we've looked at it, we've taken all the special needs, and we're not saying, oops, we wish we had another classroom here, or as we look at the projections, I'm going to ask for the projections also, to make sure that, just to verify everything I have. That's what I'm looking, the $200,000 is not in question in my mind.
Okay.
It's just a question of, I want to put together a whole elementary plan in my mind and in the board's mind, so when we go out to public to sell it, we can say, here's the reason why, when they ask the question is, you're down 100 students, or you're down 150 students, why do you need more space?
Agree 150%, Ron. You don't-
Right?
I agree 150%.
That's
problem
where
with
I
it.
was.
Okay.
Other questions from the board? I have a few. One, Chuck, as I look at the plan on the right, I see a lot of angles, and typically in the school, we build a lot of square buildings. I just want to be careful here, particularly as it's presented to the public. We're not talking about the angles that we would see in the police station out in front here. Is that correct?
Right, we're looking at fitting the space that we need, the classroom we need on the lot, so that we can also have the fire road around it. And it does look like an angle, but basically it's an L-shaped building that's a little bit offset to the existing building.
So it's more,
There are a lot of straight lines in
it's
there.
more like two squares or two
Joined together at an angle.
rectangles put together, so it's still square like the rest of our buildings.
Correct.
To the committee or others that have already, you may have already asked this question, that parking area up front, in the commercial side of the town, we would call that buffer. It looks like you're taking down the trees and brush and that are in front of the building. And then that would have not direct access to the roadway, but there would be there'd be no buffer.
Good observation, you're right. The problem with the site, you come back to the site, is we got the Beaver Brook right there. To the
Peter,
left,
can
we
you
got a-
show where the brook and wetlands are with the pointer on the right?
on the right.
I think over here.
No, on the other
Oh,
side.
on the other side.
Right there's Beaver Brook. On the other side, we got a wetland,
Oh, okay, there's
Right
another one over
there.
there.
and then it just, you got a leach field and a playground right there, and there's just no, it's as tight as North School was. I mean, North School, we had to take the buffer down as well because of the,
But
I think, Steve,
there is going to be some
Walk-
trees there.
I don't want to use the word sidewalk, there's a walkway,
Pathway.
pathway, separating the road and the proposed parking area.
And I think,
Would act somewhat as a buffer, but.
Well, and there are apartments across the road, and we have students that walk.
did he not, Bob, Frank, say there was enough small area to put some trees in there as well?
right.
So there will be, it won't be the
Right up to the
plethora of trees you see now, but there are going to be some buffer there. But Bob's right, it's, the leach field there, and as Peter mentioned earlier, I don't believe there's any plans to run sewer down there in the foreseeable future. The cost, we looked at that several years back when you got town water down there,
Several years, it was roughly a $2 million project
several years ago.
today.
All right.
This is truly be a nice place for a two-level garage on the side of the building.
There you go.
Mary?
I appreciate the ability to speak. I don't want that parking lot there either, because it bothers me that we're losing the buffer, but I was wondering why we couldn't ask the owners of the apartment complex across the street, since those parking spaces are free during the day, if we couldn't share parking, rather than take our buffer away. And it's something that I was gonna bring up at our next committee meeting and forgot to do so, I'm bringing it up now, and that's Thank you.
The total number of spaces that you're adding?
40 to 60. There's roughly in here, 20 here, but then we lose, when we do this one, we lose somewhere about 10. So that's why I say about 40 to 60, depending on how much we lose to make this path separating the lanes.
Dan Gunnery from the South School Committee, just brainstorming. My concern on that, borrowing spaces from the adjacent lot would be liability. I don't think that would be workable with town or school business being parked in a private lot. But, we're brainstorming, but that would be my first initial concern.
Yeah, I think that you can all take it back to the committee and have further conversations. I was just, it caught my eye. I know that we can break the rules as a town government or a school government. It just concerned me that we would be losing some more green or buffer space. Now, we have today, that school has a fire access road that goes around the entire school.
South School? No.
Okay.
It's
So this is exactly the same as North School,
Yeah,
then?
the one in
We
the gray
would,
area?
Mhm. We would be required to create that route that encircles the entire
Right.
school.
And that's why, Steve, if we built it here, this fire lane that you see in gray would have to come all the way around the building, which is another reason why putting it where the portables are today made sense.
Steve?
Dan? Thanks.
I agree with your comments, Ron, but relative to what's being requested, Peter, for the $200,000 warrant to complete the A&E fees, the board well knows that at North School, we didn't have that opportune time to do that, and we took a best guess estimate at the cost that we put on the request to the voters to take care of the issues up there, and we found that in past practices or past committees that if we do the due diligence on the A&E, that obviously the results, although North School project went great, but the results seem to be better served by doing that for the voters of Londonderry and the taxpayers.
Again-
So, well, my question is, I agree with your overall conceptualization of space utilization. I guess my question to Peter is, when does the board have to take a position on approving a warrant? It's sometime in January, is it not?
Somewhere on the January 4th, I believe, is your general budget workshop. And I think that is the time, if my memory serves me right, is the time that all warrants and special articles would have to be presented.
And memory serves me, we do not have another general board meeting, although we have budget meetings
Right.
prior to that date. So we could make the motion at that time, and Nate, would that give you enough time to get to the board Ron's request relative to elementary space utilization projections?
Sure, that's no problem.
So we could vote on a warrant at that time? Okay.
Let me take this, maybe I misunderstood, and maybe it's getting late. Here's the money for the $200,000 for warrant, that's separate. Here's the second question here's the project that we're looking at.
I fully understand
And I
that.
want to keep them separate.
Right.
I can vote on the $200,000 tonight, I don't have a problem on that.
okay.
I have a problem on saying that this is the design without looking at the overall elementary space.
I have no problem with your
That-
problem.
That's what I'm looking at. I mean,
I understand, Ron. I'm just saying, if anybody wanted to defer, I'm just trying to get the timeline that it's within the next 3 weeks that we have to make that determination. And we've already appropriated last year a couple
It
$100,000.
sounds, it sounds, Nate, that if we were to take this up in January, as long as
I
we
know
do
what
it
you're
before the 7th, that would cover us from the warrant article standpoint. We are looking at $200,000 on architectural and engineering. I believe that this was the board that was seated last year.
Right.
And it set a long-term direction to split that into 2 years to make sure that it was not only a little easier on the taxpayers, but also that we stepped through this planning process slowly. That amount of funds is looking at a $4.5 to $5.5 million facility, and that is a big number. And I don't think it's unreasonable to have the community digest that. We have to take a position on it for the ballot, for the warrant anyways. So I think we can do that in the future. Right now, I'm not hearing anyone on the board that has an issue with supporting that as we planned, the architectural and engineering.
Well, I guess, I'm not trying to be obstinate, but then why don't we just support it tonight? If nobody has any concerns, let's just do it, be done with it, and move on. On the 200,000, Ron, and don't get me wrong, I think, this problem you had over here, I agree with you 100%.
I have no problems voting. If you want to vote the 200,000 now, you're not going to spend it until July.
Right. So I don't see why we would defer it to a subsequent meeting.
And we have to vote 3 times more on it to put it on the warrant, so it doesn't, and then the voters get to vote on it. You picked a bad time to leave, Brian, so. If you guys like to vote, I'll take a motion.
I'll move that we put a warrant article for $200,000 out for the next ballot in March
I'll second that.
for A&E funds for the South School.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. Did you get that was motion by Paul, second by Dan.
And now comes the next question. When will we be able to get the other information on special education?
I believe we can get that for you for the first school board meeting in January. We've got
I think that's important.
basically most of it done anyway, so that's no problem.
Also included in that, I'd like a projection of the growth of LEAP. Because I think that's going to play into it more than I expect, or more than I've ever thought of.
Actually, we had conversations during that presentation too about school population. And I know we have an enrollment report tonight. I want to make sure I have a concern that we may be misleading some people. We've made statements about the school population declining. It sounds like there's this collapse of the number of students, and it's certainly not that. So we'd like to move open deliberation
Yes,
on the
high school program.
high school program of studies.
Yes. Kim and Cindy, if you could come forward, please. Thank you very much.
Good evening. Kim and I are here to bring for your review the changes that we've made to the draft of the 2007-2008 Londonderry High School Program of Studies. So accompanying the draft that you received, there's also a very brief summary sheet. And what our plan is, we'll walk you through the summary sheet as to the changes that we're making to the Program of Studies, and then we'll be open for any questions that you have.
On the summary sheet, you'll see mention of a change on page 5, which seemingly minor is actually really wonderful for our students. We have a couple of additional Project Running Start courses. Project Running Start is a program whereby our students take courses while they are students at Londonderry High School, for which they can also get credit at New Hampshire Community Technical College. Even students who are not choosing to go to NHCTC could take those credits and then transfer them into any other college they might be choosing to attend, whether it be UNH, Plymouth, Keene, et cetera. So you see on page 5, changes to additions of Accounting 1 and Photography, and also anticipated is digital electronics. So just expanding those opportunities for those students in those areas. The other change on page 8 with the articulation agreements, including a couple of changes that were made even after your summary that you've seen. We have a program for our students through the articulation agreements where they can arrange visits to the colleges, interviews at Londonderry High School, as well as working with representatives of those colleges while they are students at Londonderry High School, giving more of our students an opportunity to enroll in college post their time at Londonderry High School. We have a couple of additions there, and as I said, two that were not even in the summary that you have, New England School of Communication and New Hampshire Community Technical College in Nashua. Those just came in even after your draft went to press.
The third change that we have has to do with the math sequence. And perhaps to walk you through that, the best thing to do is if you turn to page 32, I believe, in the packet, you'll see that there's a flow chart that helps us talk about the honors level, the college prep level, and the practical level of mathematics. And we're proposing two changes. We're proposing the addition of a college preparatory calculus class and also changes to our practical level math sequence. The majority of students that come to Londonderry High School as freshmen take Algebra 1. And so when they follow through and they stay with us for their 4 years of math career, they end with pre-calculus, and which is a perfectly okay place to end as a senior in the high school. We're seeing now that there's a larger percentage of students that are coming in and they're going into geometry. And in the past, there was a small percentage of those students that went into geometry, and we were able to satisfy their needs as seniors by them taking either a semester of finite math and another semester of probability and statistics, or last year we added AP statistics also on there. So that was a great opportunity for them, and that seemed to satisfy their needs. But as Andy reported last week to you, the growing population of students that are coming from the middle school to us, there's a larger population that are going to geometry. And we're also, when we surveyed students and when we surveyed parents, they wanted to see their students have a calculus opportunity if that was possible. And AP Calculus is only appropriate for a small percentage of students. So we think that it's time right now that we offer a college prep calculus class at Londonderry High School. And I'm projecting, looking at the number of students that we have right now that are in pre-calculus, that are juniors, we have over 50 of them that would possibly choose to take this as seniors. They will fulfill they've already probably fulfilled their obligation of 3 years of mathematics anyways, but these are students that are highly motivated and they want to take 4 years of high school math. So I think right now is the perfect time to introduce this college prep calculus class. Equally important to us is at the practical level. The other change that we're proposing for the math sequence is, and this was precipitated by the changes to the New Hampshire minimum state requirements, graduation requirements. The state added a caveat to the 3 years of mathematics that are required of all students. They now say that all students must have an algebra experience. Now, we've always had algebra concepts on the basic level, but the state is saying that our algebra concepts, when we look at the curriculum that we were teaching, it did not fulfill all the content areas that the state now is saying that every student needs to have. So we could either have introduced another algebra course, or it could be an integrated approach, and that's the approach that we want to take, because we feel with a little bit of retooling, what we have had as the first, second, and third years on our practical level, we can give all of our students an algebra experience that we think will be beneficial, and it'll also prepare them for when they're an 11th grader, they have to sit for the kneecaps, the math portion of it. We feel that we will have exposed them to the math that they need, the algebra and the geometry that they need in order to be successful there. So that is the second proposal for changes in the math sequence. So we will field any questions that you might
One
have.
more quick comment too. I think it's important for the board to know. You had sent me an email the other day. We have right now 112 students in the Project Running Start. So that's potential of 112 kids right now taking the 9 courses that we're offering that will be able to get college credit. And what the kids have to do is they have to pay $100 to get their credit, and that money goes to the college naturally. But I think that's just another wonderful opportunity for kids to get college credit and have the ability to transfer that. I wanted to remember to bring that back up. Thank you.
Questions from the board? Dan?
Cindy, can you refresh my memory? How many students roughly do we have in advanced geometry as freshmen?
As freshmen? We have 2 sections of it, so that would probably be approximately 50 students, and I think Andy has 5 students that are here from the 8th grade. So
But I think
45
what-
students.
The reason I asked the question, I think we might see that number increase due to what we instituted at the elementary program. So before we put calculus in, can you walk through me what those, I believe they take advanced geometry, then they go into the trig program,
They do.
then pre-calculus, what's available to them their senior year? The AP statistics course
An AP calculus.
and AP calculus.
Correct.
So this will give a number of children another option for that fourth year that is, I don't want to say a lower level class, but a challenging class where probably a good percentage of those, because how many sessions of AP calculus and AP statistics do we have right now?
We have 2 sections. We have approximately 50 students that are in AP calculus, and we have 1 section, about 20, 25 students that are in statistics, AP statistics.
And maybe this is an unfair, if I can, an unfair question. How many students would you say that comes out of that junior year that does not choose either of those courses?
I
Ru-
don't know.
rough guess, I
roughly,
guess.
I don't know, but we definitely, they have opportunities to go to finite math and prob and
Right.
stats.
That's the one that
It's Larry Martin.
Larry Martin
Yes,
teaches, yes.
the infamous Larry Martin, yes. Yeah.
And that's a fairly challenging class as well.
Oh, most definitely,
Yeah.
most definitely.
Okay. So this would give students yet another option that prepares them for their education in
Right.
college. Yeah. Okay. I personally believe that there's some children that say, I've done that 3-year and those courses aren't really for me.
Mhm.
So I think that's what we're trying to hit with, we're trying to hit that demographics with this course offering.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Ron?
Would we be adding the
Kind of had that idea.
pre-calculus or the preparatory calculus course to the Lead the Way program? If not, why wouldn't we? Being an engineering major, boy, that would be nice to have the calculus in high school to get you through that first year of calculus in engineering school.
We're talking the Project Lead the Way career pathway?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just obviously it's too late for this, but I would think it would be a natural if we have the prep course. It would be great for those students to take that prep course as part of the whole engineering program.
Right. What we could do is we could add that as a recommendation. The Project Lead the Way is sort of a, it's a trademark name.
Okay.
But your point is well taken, that we could advise students that if they're in that sequence, that they should be also being very attentive to their math that they're taking also.
Okay, thank you.
Paul?